Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. Rejoice, for the broken are the more evolved. See, a lot of you thought there was something wrong with you, when in fact, you weren't broken, you broke through. Now here's what I mean. Now you probably heard that a lot, I heard it from Tony Robbins, but didn't really have the impact. See, when you are being broken, it's like it's breaking through to who you truly are on the inside. You know how when a baby chicken is born, it's inside an eggshell, okay? So eventually what happens, the chicken forms and grows inside the eggshell, but eventually the eggshell has to be broken in order to truly find what's inside. You were not broken. You were not broken down. It broke through to you, to your feelings, to your emotions, because that's where your power exists. Over the last year or so, I've been going through this for the first time in my life, like really, well, since the narcissist 5 years ago, a little bit more than that. For the first time in my life, I wasn't connected to my emotions for a while, and it was a really weird experience. I was disconnected. It taught me by experience what it's like for some people to go through life. They don't taste food as well. They don't smell the flavors. They don't feel emotions. They don't feel the highs, the lows. They don't feel the joy. They don't feel the passion. They don't feel the wonderful experiences. Sure, they hide from the pain, but they also block out the pleasure. So they're not experiencing life. They're just existing. They're the people who have this lost look in their eyes, this emptiness inside when you look into their eyes. It's like they're lost. There's nothing there. They don't understand. You know, the biggest secret I had, and a lot of people are like, I don't understand, why is this guy so powerful? Why was he so fast? Why did he learn so fast? Why was he so quick? Even Bruce Lee said to that kid, Bruce Lee asked him a question, the kid goes, let me think, and he went into his forehead and thus disconnecting himself from all of his emotional power. Your emotional power affects your physical muscular power. So the kid goes, let me think, and instantly Bruce Lee threw a backhand to his head and goes, crack! He cracks him really hard. He goes, don't think! Feel. Creativity comes from your emotions. Your right brain is the emotional processor. So if you're open to your emotional system, you're open to your creativity. Thus you can begin to create what you want out of life. See, a lot of you are still hiding, and that's where you're making your mistake. Genesis chapter 2 verse 25. They were with God in the garden, and they were naked, and they were not ashamed. Chapter 3, they ate of the forbidden fruit, the tree of knowledge, which is hiding in your logical brain. Knowledge is left brain. They closed the door to the right brain, the open, emotional, creative, spiritual brain, which is the open door to spirit and God. And they were ashamed, and they covered up with fig leaves. They covered up. They closed the door to their emotions and feelings. God then comes walking in the garden, and it says, and they hid. That means Adam and Eve hid. God calls out and says, Adam, Eve, where art thou? And Adam says, we're hiding. And God says, why are you hiding? Adam says, because we're naked. And God said, who told you that you were naked? Stop hiding. Show your scars. Show your damage. Show your wounds. Just be. I've got a fairly disturbing video that's going to come up in a few seconds, so kind of prepare yourself. It was in the movies, it was on television, but it's a very intense scene. Ready?
Different from the rest. Your heart is pure. Rejoice. The broken are the more evolved. Rejoice.
So I should have showed a little bit more of that, because she really began to go from absolute fear to absolute peace and being understood for the first time in her life. So before I go any further, I want to give credit to the movie. So the name of the movie is Split. It was in 2017 when it came out, and the scene is called Rejoice. So it's called Split, and the female actress is Anya Taylor-Joy, and the Beast is James McAvoy, McAvoy. He should have won an Academy Award for that, or Golden Globe, or whatever they win for movies. So here's what's going on. He is essentially a psycho with a multitude of really extreme split personalities. Now this goes beyond parts. Now, so I talk about parts and parts integration. So parts are parts that still have a connection to the neurology or the overall system. Whereas a complete split, such as schizophrenia, that is when it disconnects from the system and it's off on its own. So I don't work with that. So here's the deal though. What he said is very, very true. A lot of you think, oh, you're broken, or you've been beaten down, or whatever you want to call it. No, you've been broken up. You've been broken open. So if you're feeling hurt and you're feeling pain when a narcissist abuses you and stabs you in the back and does all the things that they do, they're breaking you open to your power. They're cracking your egg. They're cracking your shell. Everything in life, when you go to the next level, you have to go through from one place to another. And it's always painful, such as birth. Now, we don't remember birth because it was such a traumatic experience, but when you go from the womb and go outside, that is probably one of the most physically painful things in the world that a human being could experience. Look at a caterpillar. First it's born in an egg. It's stuck underneath the leaf. It has to break through that shell, and then it walks around for 6 months or however long it does. Then it goes inside a cocoon, and then it has to break out of that. Breaking out of things is very painful. The first thing that happens when a chicken or a baby comes out is the light. The light is so intense, and the baby's eyes are probably screaming. It's probably what's causing the baby to cry. Your whole world shifts. The light, the noise, the sound, people talking loudly, the banging, like you all of a sudden you're exposed to direct noise, light, sound, heat, temperature, smells, etc., etc. So James McAvoy, the Beast in this movie, in the movie Split, said when he said, "Rejoice, for the broken are the more evolved." He's right. Essentially, to set up the scene, he was a crazy person from, he murdered people and he was in an insane asylum, and they showed these videos where he would go from personality to person, like this really little Jimmy boy who's very, very nice, to this incredible beast. And not only would he change personality, his veins would pop open, his adrenaline would go, his testosterone, you could see his veins popping. He became really muscular and strong, like on an insane level. In this scene, she was running away from him. What happened was she had a shotgun right before that, literally seconds before that. And he was coming to the bars, and he bent the bars after she shot him. So here she was, this shy, quiet, young lady who was, I would say, introverted. And what happens is she had to fight for her life. So she shot him when he pulled the bars open, because normally she covered her scars. Like, no, I don't think anywhere in the movie you saw her scars. So all of a sudden she's running around. He probably ripped her shirt, her sweater off or whatever. And all of a sudden she shoots him, and he's bending the bars like he's going to get to her. Now she's like, oh shit, I don't have anything, no more shotgun shells. He looks down at her scars and he realizes, oh, you're not one of them. You're one of us. And he's telling her, this isn't a bad thing. This is a good thing. Rejoice, for the broken are the more evolved. He saw her for the first time. Somebody finally saw who she truly was and fully embraced her, to the extent of saying, you're not broken down. You're more evolved. Rejoice. This is a beautiful thing. See, when you find someone who fully and completely embraces who you are, accepts who you are, knows who you are, that's the person you cling to. That's the person you hold on to. And then turn around and realize you are not less than, you are more than. So rejoice, because you have opened up. You understand things on a much, 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 much deeper level than most people do. You can feel. And that connects you to a higher level of actual intelligence inside your brain and inside your body. You ever heard of muscle memory? Your memories are stored inside your muscles. They are accessed through your emotions. That's why when you feel things, you understand them. It's a higher level of intelligence. There's more information there. When you disconnect from your emotions and your feelings, you can't access the information inside your body, including math equations and things you learned from falling down or things you learned from class. All of your information is stored in your muscles. Your three brains, the left, the right, the lower, and even the two frontal, these are just processors that process the information. You do not store your memories inside your skull. Your memories and all the information you've learned is stored inside your physical body. That's why the narcissist wants to cut you off from your emotions. So now you can't access your intelligence. If you can feel pain, if you are suffering, that means you are accessing your intelligence. You are accessing information. You are now connected to your power. When I am weak, then I am strong. 2 Corinthians 12:10. When you are in pain, when you are suffering, that's when you have access to your power. That's when you should pray. Because when you pray from that place, miracles happen. Here's the good news. It doesn't have to be pain and suffering. It could be absolute elation, positive emotions. When you pray from that place, when it's just as intense as suffering, your prayers will also be answered. Because now you have full access to your power. Do not hide from your pain. Face the fire. Walk into the fire. Become the fire. And just be you. Fully and completely embrace you and just be you. with all your goodness, with all your badness, with your scars, your cuts, your self-inflicted wounds, everything, including your fear. Allow it, accept it, and be with it. Don't try to hide it. Don't try to stop it. Feel it fully and completely. That's how you heal it. God bless you guys. Click subscribe, click the like button, go and make a comment, and as always, you can go and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.